And I have something to show you. Bathrooms. Finally painted. You do need to have some boredom when it comes to your training. I just got back from Canberra.
This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
Good morning. It's been a productive morning so far. I woke up super early today, did client messages, went and did fasted cardio. I've eaten breakfast, done my makeup. I don't know why my fringe is sitting so high today. It needs a wash. My whole hair needs a wash, actually. So it's probably just like too much hairspray built up in there. And now it's like a board. It's hardly moving. And I have something to show you. Bathroom. It's finally painted. I wish I could like zoom out a little bit on this thing. The bench will be changed as well, but the painter who did it said he wouldn't be able to do it because it'll need to be like sanded back and then like primed with something else. I don't know what he said. Anyway, I don't even know what kind of material this is, but apparently it can be changed. He just wasn't able to do it, so he's going to put me in touch with someone who can. I got him to paint the ceiling too. I've got a cabinet that's got to be put up here. I've actually got to assemble the cabinet. It's the one that I bought from IKEA when Rach was staying with me, and then I've got the mirror from Temple & Webster, which I'm trying to decide, do I want to leave it leaning like mantle mirror type of thing, or do I actually want to have it like put on the wall? Honestly, I'm just feeling like it's probably safer to have it put on the wall, and I need to figure out what I want to do with the lighting situation as well. So I'm not going to get the mirror put on the wall until I know what's happening there. But for now, I've just got this little lamp. I cannot remember where I got the lamp from though. I got it like ages and ages ago, and I've just propped that in the corner. This actually like swivels, and I've just like stuck it vertical. There we go. I feel like that is probably the most accurate reflection of the color I might be able to get on camera. There. That.
Now, I just want to take a second to thank today's video sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or you're managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create beautiful websites, engage with your audience, and sell anything. They have Fluid Engine, which is a next-generation website design system to unlock your creativity. You can start with these incredible website templates and customize every single detail. You can use their built-in analytics and insights to grow your business, set up an online store to sell your products, whether they're physical, digital, or service, and accept appointments on your Squarespace website. But don't just take my word for it. Jump in, start a free trial, see how it feels for you, and when you're ready to hit publish, you can use the URL which I had on the screen or I have down in the description box for a discount off your first purchase.
Okay, here's my little training snack. So I've got some thin rice cakes, some honey, and one banana, which I've chopped up and put on top. This is gonna be some good carbs before the gym because I have to have 410 grams of carbs today. So unless I have another snack before the gym, and then I'll have a few more like carb dense meals later. Like if I don't have something like this, which is just carb, it's really hard for me to hit. And so if I'm going to use like a high carb, low fat, low protein meal, I'm going to put it before the gym. Now, I was just doing some client check-ins this morning, and I wanted to talk to you about an experience that's really, really common because popped up. One of my clients who has been on the same training block for 4 weeks now was like, oh, I'm feeling a little bit bored of doing the same thing. She has some very specific physique goals in mind, so we're trying to be very targeted with our training and what we're working on. And I've just started my new training block. So if you saw one of my other videos, you might remember that I was doing a block where it's like 4 days a week of legs and then some arm work on the end. And then every second week when I'm doing my like social media filming stuff, that's when I get to train upper body. But yeah, the rest of the time it's literally just legs. And he was like, you got such great results from that. We're going to repeat that over again. Now my training blocks are in 16-week increments. So I just did 16 weeks of the 4 leg days a week, took a rest/recovery week. And now I'm about to dive in and do another 16 weeks of the exact same training program. Every now and again, tiny things might get tweaked. Exercises moved and swapped in a different order, or we do the progressive overload where I'm adding sets or I'm adding reps to make sure that it is getting increasingly more difficult as we go. But essentially, like when I finish this next training block, I will have been doing the same training program for 8 months. And I know, like, especially if you're new or if you're someone who does tend to get a little bit bored, there is a huge amount of temptation to just swap things up to like keep things interesting. You know, if we're just going in and just training for fun or training to move your body and just stay fit and healthy, that's fine. But if you have very, very specific measurable goals, whether it's physique goals, performance goals, whatever it might be, I want to float you the idea of like, you do need to have some boredom when it comes to your training. Repeating what works is always going to be more beneficial than like chopping and changing all the time. Because what we're doing is we're giving our body that consistent stimulus to adapt and to grow stronger. And you know, that's what we're trying to do at the end of the day. Repetition is going to build your muscle memory, which is where you're going to excel at performing these particular movements. Like it takes so much practice to get really, really good at certain movements and to get the right muscle activation. On top of that, if we're repeating a similar thing, it's going to be so easy for us to progressively overload, especially if you're tracking how much you're lifting, whether it's in an app, in a notebook, whatever it might be. Because we have the same exercise selection, it's in the same order, we know we're getting the same type of central fatigue as we move through the workout. Of course, there's going to be other variables like, you know, menstrual cycles, sleep disturbances, all that sort of thing. But for the most part, we have like a high level of consistency and a low degree of variability. And I know you might be thinking it's like a negative to feel a little bit bored of your training routine, but I like to just like lean into the process and just focus on like, cool, what am I doing today? How do I perform my best today? What do I need today to actually like feel good? How do I need to push myself in this workout? What's going to make this workout better than the one that I did last week? I think as well, like practicing that art of like repetition and doing the same things over and over again just builds that mental resilience. Like training through boredom and training through not being inspired and training through not being motivated is so good for building that mental toughness and like building that discipline and that ability to just get up and do things even when you don't feel like doing them. I think as well, it gives us that opportunity to focus on mastering the basics rather than chasing novelty. You can get in and like rebuild exercises, like strip it back to the fundamentals and go, okay, you know, if I've only got these movements that I'm doing, how do I make sure that I'm doing them with the correct technique, with great tempo, with great muscle activation? I remember a couple of years ago now, I rebuilt a lot of my lifts. Like I stripped everything back and I was like, okay, I need to really like slow this down, focus on that mind muscle connection, because that's something that I always struggled with. I don't know if it's because of like the autism or my hypermobility or like whatever it is. Like it is something like the first few years of training, I really struggled with it. So I went through a period of time where I just like rebuilt everything. I stripped the weight back and I was like, let's not lift with our ego. Let's actually focus on lifting this properly. So I know it's tempting to like get bored, switch things up, flick through Instagram, find a workout that you want to do that day and do that. But I want to encourage you to like set a plan in place and then just like follow through on that for a prolonged period of time. It doesn't necessarily have to be 8 months like I'm doing right now, but it could be 3 months or 4 months. Like when I program for my clients, I usually like to give them like a 3-month block where we've got a few different phases within that block and there's like some minor changes going on. And of course I jump in and adapt it as we need. If you want the fastest strength changes and physical changes that you can get, then like really honing in on repetition and routine is going to help you do that. So next time you're feeling bored, I want to encourage you just to lean into that boredom a little bit.
All right, I quickly want to show you this dinner recipe that I've been having a fair bit lately. But firstly, look at the pets. Look at Toast. She's always lying on her back. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably see it all the time in my stories. I just think it's so funny that she sleeps with her belly fully exposed all the time. Anyway, we're starting with some avocado oil, and we're going to put that in a pan. And then what I'm going to do is take this pre-chopped Asian style vegetable mix, like a stir fry veg mix. It's got carrots, it's got snow peas. I'm pretty sure there's also like bok choy, there's broccolini, cabbage, spring onion, that sort of thing. I'm going to put that in the pan and allow that to cook for a little bit. And so what I do is I cook the veg first. This is one of those meals where I use those like pre-ready ingredients and just sort of chop it and throw it together. Sometimes I make the sauce from scratch, but not always. And this night I didn't, so I'll show you what I use. Then I'm taking the garlic prawns that I got from Coles. If you've seen my vlogs recently, I've been eating them a lot. Once the veggies are, cooked to a nice degree, I'm just going to pull them out. I'm going to cook the prawns and then add the veggies back in once the prawns are cooked, just so we're not overcooking the veg. And then I'm going to take this Master Foods recipe base, which is the honey, garlic, and soy stir fry recipe base, and I'm going to use about half a packet of this one, and I'm only going to add it in like right at the very end and just sort of mix it through before I plate everything up. But this is such a delicious meal, and it's so easy. I wouldn't meal prep this one. Like, I mean, you could, but like I personally don't like to meal prep prawns. I just don't like them refrigerated or reheated the next day. But there we go. There's my meal.
I just got back from Canberra. I have an unpacked bag in the background, so don't mind me there. I've got to do some meal prep now. I'm going to prep my chicken curry dish that I always make. This is the meal that I've been eating pretty much every day for breakfast for the last year, except when I'm not in Melbourne. And then I've got to make myself a little dinner as well. I just need something small based on my macros right now. So I'm thinking like a wrap bread. I'm going to put some chicken in it, some half-fat Kewpie, and then I'll just put some like salad mix on the side just to have some veggies. Anyway, that's not the meal that I'm prepping. I saw a meme the other day that made me laugh so hard, and it was like, do you have the type of autism where you can never listen to anything at all, or do you have the kind of autism where you have to constantly be listening to something? I feel like I'm constantly listening to something. The playlist I have on is called Hannibal Cooking Vibe. It's so good. So there's like Vivaldi, Beethoven, even like Danny Elfman and stuff is in there. Okay, so for this meal prep meal, I'm just heating up my pan. I'm gonna put some avocado oil in the pan. I'm chopping up half an onion, 2 carrots, and 2 small potatoes. Now, it has been a few days since I filmed that clip in the bathroom, and obviously like since then I've been working, and then I had a quick little trip away, and now I'm back. And I spent some time to think about it because I knew the only time I would have to do this is tonight, because today is one of my days off. Tomorrow I am working again, so I won't really have time to do it tomorrow because I've got to do programming in the morning for like nutrition and training programs, and then in the afternoon / evening I've got some one-on-one client calls, so I definitely won't have time then, and I know I'll want to take some time to relax after doing client calls. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to find some old comfy clothes if I have any. I got rid of a lot of my big clothes that don't fit me, and then I'm going to paint my office. After seeing the color in the bathroom, oh my god, I love it so much, and I want it in the office as well. And part of me was like, oh, do I just do one wall? And I was like, ew, no, that's kind of tack. Like, I feel like a wallpaper feature wall makes sense, but when it's just like one color, I don't know, like just do the whole room. Like I did with my bedroom being all dark green, I'm gonna do all dark red in this room. Eventually I will see how there's like the molding, like the little panel things here that will continue into the office as well. And I'm thinking maybe I'll just keep them like red too. Like, should I put them on first? Probably, but I'm having an ADHD creative moment and I want to get in there and paint my office. I think that would be a nice thing to do on this Saturday evening because I don't have any other plans. It's so funny when I think back, like, I mean, I've been making videos on here for what, like 9 years now or something. And if I think back to like me in 2015 with like the super stark minimalism, like just white and black home decor, I feel like if you told me then, you know, in about 10 years time, you're going to be painting rooms green and red, I would not have believed you. It's so funny how we change like that. Like I know everyone goes through changes, but did anyone else go through like such a violent change with their like personal taste and that sort of thing? Because I feel like because mine is all like publicly documented and people can go back and watch those old videos and everything still, it feels a little bit jarring because they have the ability to see like old versions of you or old opinions that you had. Okay, so the onions have been cooking for a little bit in the avocado oil, just the point where they're fragrant, and then I'm going to add in the carrot. First I was like, oh, do I paint my bedroom, like instead of being green, do I do that red? Because I have been enjoying the red a lot, but dark green is probably one of my favorite colors, I would say. And I find the dark green to be really relaxing in the bedroom as well. Like, you know, you go in there to sleep, so you want something cozy, whereas I feel red is a little bit more of an activating color. Oh my goodness, it's so nice. It's like I hadn't done any home stuff for so long that I kind of forgot that when you own your own place, if you want to just change a wall color, you can. I know that sounds weird. I had been doing things so consistently and then everything just stopped and I was such low energy for a period of time there, but I'm feeling a lot better now. You do need to let the vegetables cook for a bit before you add anything else. While they're cooking, I'm just gonna start cutting up my chicken. And then once the chicken's cooked through, we're gonna add water and we're gonna add this. So I'm just gonna add the water. I've got drop sheeting and everything down. I've decided, because I still have a lot of the door, window, and trim paint as well. So because I'm not gonna have that white section along this wall like I have in the lounge room, I'm gonna do the whole, like all the walls red. Then I'm thinking I'll change the cupboard doors as well. I was thinking it could even be cool if I like wallpaper them, if I get like a dark wallpaper. Anyway, I've been like mood boarding and brainstorming. I didn't know what I wanted to do with this room, so I'm like happy that I actually have an idea now. So I'm gonna paint all the walls with the color that I've got formula is red marble, and it's just the wash and wear paint. And then I have the same red marble that I'm going to use for the trim, the door, all of that sort of thing. I am gonna have to take the door off its hinges to do that. And I'm just gonna do one coat tonight because it's getting a little bit late. So I'm gonna do one coat of the paint. It'll probably end up needing 3, I think.
So I ended up getting the first coat done in the whole room. By the time I finished, it was like 10:30 p.m. and I was like, oh my goodness, I need to get ready for bed because I need to work tomorrow. So I'm gonna continue filming tomorrow. I'll probably start the next vlog, and then in the next video, or at least in the next full vlog that I do, I'll show you how the room turns out.